Hey, what's going on, friends and family? Welcome to another edition of Heart to Heart with Dr. Tart. 85 years ago today, Harvard researchers did a longitudinal study to figure out what makes people thrive, right? And so this was back in 1938. So today, depending on when you're watching this video, is 2023. So this would be almost exactly 85 years later. And they what they did was they followed 724 teenagers every 2 years for 85 years, right? And asked them every 2 years, interview them, what makes them happy, and ran them through a different battery of tests and took all kinds of stuff. And I think after a couple of them passed, I think a percentage of them actually donated their brains to this study. That's how interesting it was. And what they found was that the key to just overall thriving and happiness was not money. It wasn't IQ. It wasn't social class. It wasn't fame. It wasn't physical fitness. It wasn't any of those things. Right? Now let's just pause for a second. All right. Because, all right, money. Actually, money does make you happier, but only when money takes you out of poverty. After that, the research shows that everyone is about the same in terms of happiness. So the whole more money, more problems is true unless you are living below the poverty level. And once you get above the poverty level, people are happier, but then it balances off. All right. IQ has nothing to do, with happiness. Social class. There's rich people who are miserable, and there are people who are low income who are happy, right? Now, don't get me wrong, money is an issue. It's not fame. People were famous and miserable, famous and happy. And then physical fitness, that wasn't it either, right? Now, more physical fitness, gives you more brain chemicals that lead towards happiness. But that wasn't it. So what was it? It was having quality relationships, right? And so what they were saying is that you have to examine so the three things. You have to examine the quality of your relationships, y'all. Are they robust enough? What they found with each one of these individuals when they checked in, whether they were teenagers, so they started when they were, I believe, 17 years old, right? And it was low income, right? So at 17 years old, they followed them, and they found that they were happier at every level of their life when their relationships were actually better, right? Their relationships actually better. They actually did a study. There was the example in the article for the New York Times, as they talked about a 68-year-old man who joined the gym at 68 and actually had the highest amount of happiness at 68 because he developed so many friends at the gym. He could walk in, they say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they would hang out and they do life together. He never had that, right? So he was like happier at 68 because the quality of his relationships were so much happier, right? So the question I have for you is, are your relationships robust enough? Now, you don't need to have a bunch of friends. Like, you can be an introvert and have robust relationships. You're not going to go to a party, or if you go to a party, you might have like small talk in the corner, right? Or you just might do a group, listen to music at the house, go out to eat, do a coffee. You might like small groups, but you have to have groups. People mistake introversion or introverts for being loners, and they're two different categories. Being a loner actually hurts your physical and your psychological and your emotional health. No one should be a loner. That's different from deciding when you want to be alone and when you want to be with friends. Y'all know the difference, right? So make sure your relationships are robust enough. If they're not, get busy. One recommendation they had that I love is the 8-minute phone conversation. A lot of us are busy. We're in a busy society, but we need to talk to people. So I want you to like hit someone up and say, "Hey, I saw this crazy post from Dr. Tart backed up by Harvard, New York Times. So it's legit. Let's do an 8-minute phone call." Right? Let's just check in. So 4 and 4. I tell you what's going on with me. You tell me what's going on with you. And we get off the phone. We keep moving. Let's do an 8-minute phone conversation once a month, twice a week, whatever the frequency is. I do it with different people and check in because social media, that's not where it is when it comes to connection. All right. And then number 3, more small talk. If you're in the grocery store, you're on the bus, you're on that train, you're on that plane, you're in line, wherever you are, right? Talk to people. Say what's up. What a wonderful day. Crazy weather we're having, right? Did you see what happened Monday Night Football? Or did you hear what's going on with the Republicans fighting one another? Did you hear about this? What about that? And just have conversations, right? I can say, did you watch the 3-hour movie? The 3-hour movie, I can't remember the name. Avatar. Was it worth it? I'm just trying to decide. People say, "What is Avatar?" Yeah, I did. It was worth it, right? Whatever the case may be, small talk is going to help you, right? So can you do those 3 things? Can you one, are my relationships robust enough? Do I need to actually, am I good, or do I need to add some quality, not quantity? Do I need to have an 8-minute phone conversation with people? And do I need to have more small talk so I make friends no matter where I go? These little micro conversations that could lead to so many different things. So I'm not always just on my phone, right? So I want you to do those things for me. I want you to do those things for you so that you can be happier. All right. I'll be back because they have 4 more recommendations, but I wanted to give you the first 3, and I want you to get started on those and report back to me so that we can all be happier, because Lord knows everyone's going through something and we need one another. All right, I'm Dr. Tart. Take care. God bless. And let's make sure our relationships are robust. I like that word.